us to learn from everything that's going on as a team, and it's something we got to grow from.
Happy New Year and welcome into First Take. I'm Cassidy Hubbard filling in for the magnificent Molly Kiram. Stephen A., Shannon Sharp, and Molly will be back tomorrow. Dan Orlovsky, Ryan Clark, and Rex Ryan will be joining us shortly as they make their way over from the Get Up studio. They're working to start 2024. But a team that is probably saying good riddance to 2023 is the Philadelphia Eagles, who have absolutely stumbled into the new year, capped off by a brutal 35-31 loss to the Arizona Cardinals yesterday, delivering a major blow to their chances at one of the top seeds for the NFC playoffs. The Eagles have gone 1-4 over their last 5 games after a 10-1 start. Nick Sirianni knows time is running out to get things fixed.
Concerned? No, I mean, I don't think we think that way. All I think we think is how do we get these things fixed?
Is the locker room still with Nick?
Yes. Why would you say that?
Because you lost 4 of the last 5. Lost 18 last 3 in the 12.
The NFL. It's the NFL. It's any given Sunday, and we got our teeth punched in today because we went out there and we thought if they were going to be a pushover. No, it's the NFL. It's any given Sunday. And that's what makes this one of the greatest sports in the world. No, Nick has not lost the locker room.
All right, so the winner of the NFC East will be decided in Week 18, with the Cowboys needing a win versus the Commanders or an Eagles loss to win the division. Now, while the Eagles will need both a win versus the Giants and a Cowboys loss. As I mentioned, RC will be back with us. That's why his seat is empty. He just hosted Get Up.
Finishing a show.
Yeah, he's finishing his show, getting ready for college game days. It's a big day. We'll get into college football in just a bit. But Dan, will the Eagles be one and done in the playoffs?
Unless they fix a lot of things in a very short period of time, absolutely. Cassidy, I'd said yesterday with both the stakes and the opponent, it's the worst loss Philadelphia's had in 20 years. And think about just how the game ends. You're at home with basically a chance to make sure the division's still alive for you and number 2 seed in Arizona, who has nothing to play for when it comes to the grand scheme of things, walks right down the field and goes and takes the game from you. Defensively, the only person playing coverage well is Darius Slay. He obviously isn't playing right now. The linebackers can't cover. Arizona lost their left tackle in the third quarter. DJ Humphries went out of the game in the third quarter. They pressured Kyler Murray for the rest of that game twice. Without his left tackle, they go right down the field and score. This is a zone defense that can't cover anybody. Offensively, I don't know who they are. Their offensive line isn't dominant anymore. They ran for the first half, so 26 plays in the second half. One of them went to A.J. Brown. They have a lot of issues right now, and they're still individually talented enough to make up for it at times, and that's how they squeaked out some close wins. They are way more likely to have to go down to Tampa Bay and lose than to go on the road and get back to the Super Bowl.
It's pretty amazing, though, that you're sitting back saying, we don't know who they are, and there's one game left in the regular season. Yeah. And this is a team that went to the Super Bowl last year, and quite honestly, very easily could have won that game. And so what happened? Well, they did lose their identity. This is a team that was built like like Philadelphia, the community is.
Tough
as hell.
I'll grind you.
Bully. Yeah. We don't care. You know what? You may win a game, but we're going to win the fight. They're not winning the fight right now. Mm-hmm. Cassidy, they're not winning the fight. And so that offensive line, they need to get back to bullying people. I think that can get fixed with just your play calling. Mm-hmm. A.J. Brown, why has he disappeared?
Buddy, one play went to him in the second half.
With
the division on the line.
No, that's absolutely ridiculous. So to me, I think that side of the ball can be fixed. The defense, no, that ain't getting fixed. Because, number one, you hired the wrong cat. To sit in that seat when your coordinator left.
Yep.
Yes, you got to replace the good players. Hargrave, you replaced him with a guy that I thought was the best defensive tackle I had seen in 20 years coming out of college football, Jalen Carter. So to me, is this a bad? Look, I'm saying this. Is this a bad? Bad players, or are they just playing bad on defense? I think they are historically playing bad.
I know you got your takes off on Get Up too, but you were hosting. By the way, you did a great job. Why am I here?
Thank you very much. Because
you
you do a great job too.
4 hours hosting a lot. 4 hours.
Nah, you got to get up.
But now that you're back into the main analyst, let's let you cook on this.
Honestly, I think we're all wrong. Like, we're talking about we don't know who they are. Hell yeah, we do. And they ain't very good.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. This is a team that was supposed to be great. This was a GM in Howie Roseman that we said did everything right in replacing the players he needed to replace so the defense could be good. We thought that Nick Sirianni would get an opportunity to acquire the right offensive coordinator, the right defensive guy to have this team play at the same level. And you also expect there to be some carryover from the good players.
Yeah.
You expect the Darius Slays and you expect the Jalen Hurtses to find a way to make sure the rest of the guys, the new guys on this team, understand what the experience is like of trying to win the NFC East, what the experience is like of trying to win the NFC Championship. We aren't seeing that. And I think it makes you think back to that primetime game against the Minnesota Vikings, where two best friends are having an argument on the sideline about whatever it was, the Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown conversation. And we thought that was a good conversation because A.J. Brown goes on this streak of absolutely dominating the league. And then we don't see this offense progress. Yeah. You don't see Brian Johnson start to do some of the things that made Jalen Hurts successful last year. You don't see a run game be as dominant as it was last year. This is supposed to be the best offensive line in ball, right? You have a Hall of Famer at the center position in Kelsey. You have Lane Johnson, who's also going to be talked about in that same sort of conversation as a Hall of Famer. And you have Jordan Mailata on the left side, who is an absolute mountain of a man. Why are these dudes always backpedaling?
Right.
Ain't none of them was supposed to play DB.
No doubt.
They're supposed to be moving forward and inflicting physicality on the opposite team. This is not the team that they were last year. And what we're starting to see as some of those weaknesses become more glaring, that they're going to play themselves. One, they've already played themselves out of hosting. And they're going to play themselves at home in the second round of the playoffs.
Rex says the defense can't be fixed. Can the defense be fixed?
No, it can't.
Not with this guy.
Because then this is the other piece I think that people miss, though. Like, you do need good players, right?
The only one who can cover right now is Darius.
Right, you need good players. You're playing two rookies yesterday in Elias Ricks and Keely Ringo at the corner positions. Two dudes that I think will be good in the future, but they aren't now. Avonte Maddox, this is his first week back. He's missed the entire season. Reed Blankenship had to replace C.J. Gardner-Johnson. N'Kobe Dean is hurt early. So what do you say?
Yeah.
It's going to be our defensive line, who we do have all of our dogs that are going to lead.
Yeah.
They aren't leading.
Yeah.
And so now this is a team, to me, that as much as we talked about the Dallas Cowboys being front runners in some sense of the word, this team seems to be playing that way down the stretch.
So let's just look at this when it comes to 1 week left. We know who most of the teams are in the playoffs, unit by unit.
Yep.
Okay? No hyperbolic here. Who do we like better offensively, Dallas or Philly right now?
Dallas.
Okay, who do we like better offensively, Philly or San Francisco?
San Francisco.
That's obvious.
Detroit or Philly?
Detroit.
The Rams or Philly?
Rams.
Okay, so those are the teams that are in. Offenses-wise, we like all those offenses or believe or have more trust in all those offenses more than Philly. We'll see who else gets in. Green Bay, I would say Green Bay's offense right now more than Philadelphia's. Does Seattle get to win? Defensively, I know the only defense that in the playoffs, maybe Green Bay?
Yeah, defensively, you say they could play with the Rams maybe, right? We've seen the Rams show some cracks, but they can at least get a four-man rush as we saw yesterday. But I think the Rams
struggle.
Yeah, the Detroit struggle. So, but like
Detroit also just went on the road to Dallas where they scored 40 a game and played their freaking butts off.
I think the problem is not the problem. This is the question I want to ask you as someone who analyzes quarterbacks better than anybody in the game. Remember when the season started and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers were gone? Right? Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is in New York. Tom Brady retired. What do we say? The one thing we know about the Philadelphia Eagles is they're going to have the best quarterback.
Sure.
Do you feel that way right now going into the playoffs?
Not in this offense. In the NFC,
and that's a problem.
I feel quarterback-wise, I feel more confidence and trust in Dak. I feel more confidence and trust in Brock Purdy. I feel more confidence and trust in Matthew Stafford.
Jared?
Yes. Jared's had some
and that offense.
It just, in this offense right now with Jalen, it doesn't look like Jalen has a ton of confidence, and it hasn't in everything that's being asked of him.
Is it Jalen or the offense?
It's definitely the offense. I still
that kid,
think
Jalen can flat out play.
Right.
I still, and even when he does throw the ball, he's throwing it. Like you see the throws, you're like, yep, that's the right throw. It's going to the right spot. I don't think he trusts the offensive line protection-wise ever since the Jets game. I think that Jets game totally impacted how much trust.
Had 3 picks that day.
And just the bailing of the pocket. I don't think they have a good plan versus blitzes. That could be a little bit of plan, a little bit of Jalen. But there's very little easy for Jalen right now. Like, there's just very little. I don't care who you are. And we've said this about Josh Allen. We've said this about Joe Burrow. We've said this about Patrick Mahomes. Shoot, we're watching it with Lamar Jackson. You have to give those guys some easy stuff at some point.
It's like the opposite of Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And right now, it's just not happening in Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think that, look, Jalen Hurts to me, like, he's had a bad year. He's rushed for 15 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this guy's not the issue. It's just I think that there's so much pressure on this offense because their defense absolutely stinks.
They do.
Yeah.
And so now
So the
they're
offense
taking a different
constantly chases
approach.
points.
Yeah, and they're taking a different approach. Last year, they used to just bludgeon you with the running game. It's like, that's all right. We don't mind punting. Because you know what it is? It's like a heavyweight, like landing body blows. Yeah, we don't care. We'll punt. You know, we're going to run the ball, get you, beat you up a little bit.
Success is hard, Rex.
It is.
Success is hard. Like when you win and you start to taste that and you start to think that that is something you're entitled to, that's difficult.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at it, this is Jalen's first time really being the man, right? Having this level of expectation. Nick Sirianni, who was joked about after his first press conference, shows you that he's a Super Bowl caliber coach. Now he has to live up to that as well. And when you are good, people poach your players.
Yeah.
They poach your coaches. Yeah. This is not the same team.
Cassie, I said it just to kind of put a ribbon on it. So they are in a tie game yesterday, 28-28 with 3 minutes to go. They get down into the red zone. They have 1st and 15 because of penalty. They go Jalen Hurts quarterback run. 2nd and 15, they go Jalen Hurts quarterback run. They get the 3rd and 20 after a 5-yard loss. They call timeout, and they throw a perimeter screen to, I think, Olamide Zaccheaus. And they kick a field goal. So in the final 3 plays of the game, neither A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, or DeAndre Swift touched the football.
Yeah.
That is not championship mentality.
And you lose this game with a 98-yard pick-6 return of an interception in the red zone as well.
Yeah, it just seems to be permeating throughout that team right now.